I don't know where I'm going with this, but like everything will be okay. I am not making this easy on myself. Bloody hell. Oy. They are something other in that skin suit. And loud clunk. Hi, my name is Tabitha, and this is my channel, Weed Foxin. Welcome back, or if you're new, welcome. I doing a new what are you reading? Because while I was sick and doing family stuff, I wasn't getting a lot done, so I just kind of let it go. Like, I got one book done in a week, so it's been 2 weeks now, I think. Anyway, doing a bit of a different setup because I don't care to set up my usual thing right now. Being a little lazy. It's been a time. Chronic fatigue is really kicking my ass. But anyway, on to what I have read recently. So let's start with The Prey of Gods by nickydrayden. So this book is so good. Like, the start was a little iffy, but it picks up pretty quick. And yes, there's little AIs in there, so there's a tad bit of sci-fi, but it's mostly about gods. And a god in particular who is meddling, another who wants to take over the world because it's finally their time again. And then, the AI coming to being is put in there, and it is just really fun. It is a fun time, so I seriously suggest taking this. Now it's set in South Africa in like a near future sort of context, so I suggest everyone pick that up. It's really good. And loud clunk. Okay, after that I read The Fallen by Ada Hoffman. I did not realize when I did my TBR video with this mentioned that Ada Hoffman is actually Canadian. I believe they were born in Kingston and currently lives there, which is not far from where I grew up in Eastern Ontario. So that was cool. I thought there was only like 2 Canadian authors on my TBR for April, but there were 3. So that was really fun. This is the sequel to The Outside. And that was a bit of it's all sci-fi, somewhat cosmic horror, and this one I enjoyed a lot more than The Outside. The Outside was a lot of setup, and it gave you had a lot of information that you had to sift through to get the story. But this one, you're picking up right where you left off. And there's a lot more about people being allowed to be themselves, about body autonomy, about the government dictating what you should be doing, how you should live, and the consequences of that. All in a nice sci-fi setting with moving plants and AI gods and vengeful angels who are also AI. So yeah, it's really, really fun. Also a little bit about the nature of love, and how when we have experienced a traumatic event, how we can get back to being able to accept love. So that being said, like, this all takes place, pretty much takes place on the planet Jai, which has now been quarantined from the rest of the universe, especially the chaotic zone, I believe it was called, where outside of our reality, an outside plague recently swept through, and those who didn't die, one of 2 things happened. Either they became what is called the Gone People, who are not zombies, zombie-like. They're not dead, but their personality is no longer there. They are something other in that skin suit. And the second thing being that you get some sort of strange ability. There are people who can make plants grow and specialize in certain type of plants, or can jump from place to place, so teleportation, stuff like that. And this is something that the AI gods just do not want to happen, especially Nemesis, who is a main feature in both Outside and this, because one of her angels is one of the main characters. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I seriously suggest having a go at this series. I believe the third in the trilogy is coming out soon. I think it's in the summer. So yeah, I think that's called The Infinite. So be looking out for that one. And I recently finished this beautiful book, The City of Lost Fortunes by Brian Camp. Have a few little tags in there of stuff that was really beautiful to read. Like, this opens up. I kind of want to read. It's like the first page almost. Ugh. Yeah, it's the first page. But this writing is just this is chapter 1, first giant paragraph. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the void, and ice in the north, and fire in the south, and the great waters. A universe created in a day and a night, or a billions of years, or 7 days, or a cycle of creations and destructions. The waters were made to recede to reveal the land, or the land was formed from the coils of a serpent, or half of a slain ocean goddess, or the flesh and bones and skulls of a giant, or a broken egg, or an island of curdled salt appeared when the sea was churned by a spear, or the land was carried up to the surface of the waters by water beetle, or a muskrat, or a turtle, or 2 water looms. However the world was made, it teemed with life, populated by things who evolved from a single cell, or who were molded from clay, or carved out of wood, or found trapped in a clamshell. They wandered up from their underworld of 7 caves, or fell through a hole in the sky, or they crawled out of the insect world that lies below. All these stories, these beginnings, are true, and yet none of them are the absolute truth. They are simultaneous, in spite of paradox. The world is a house built from contradictory blueprints, less a story than is a conversation. It is not a world without complications, not without conflicts, not without seams. That's how this book starts. And that automatically was just like, I was not expecting that. That's like Neil Gaiman-esque prose right there. And the story itself, like, it's about this guy named Jude, and it's in post-Katrina New Orleans in the States there, and I think it's like 6 years after Katrina hit, and he's still dealing with his trauma about that, and he's a magician / demigod. And you just keep meeting gods and spirits and all sorts of magic dealing people and figures, and it's just, there's so many bits like that in this book that is just, you're explaining everything without excluding, like including everything as the truth, even when it's paradoxical, and I found that to be very beautiful. And Brian Camp, I believe he's a resident of New Orleans, so like you can tell his love for the city when you're reading this book. So I'm excited to read the next one, which I'll be getting to. But it was a beautiful story about being able to find your place, not without its hardships, not without its sacrifices, but, sometimes the phoenix needs to burn in order to be reborn. And that is kind of the gist of this story. Like I said, it's very Neil Gaiman-esque, but it's not nearly as long. There is some similarities to American Gods in this, and I was just eating it up. It was quite a ride, and I absolutely loved it. Like, read it in almost 24 hours. I think it was like a day and a half. It was so good. So, little known book, but everyone I think should read The City of Lost Fortunes if you like some urban fantasy. It's really good. Boom. And the last one that I have finished, I actually just finished it today, that would be Prime Deceptions by Valerievaldes. It is the second in the Chilling Effect sequence, and I love this book so much. I really enjoyed Chilling Effect. It was really fun. It was quite a romp, and like I said, when I was introducing this book and saying I was going to read it, is that I enjoyed that the characters were allowed to be flawed. Like the characters, one gave up for a bit, and that was refreshing. It wasn't that huge, tenacious push to just be like, I can't give up. Failure's not an option. Like sometimes that's the only thing you can do to stay alive, is to give up. And I found that to be quite refreshing. Don't expect too much speculation on the human experience in this. It is very much a popcorn sci-fi, very pulpy, but I still love all the characters. They're all so vibrant and adorable, and I will ship Eva and Vakar till the end of days. They are just wonderful. But again, you romp across the universe trying to find one of the crewmates' siblings. Her brother is missing, so they're trying to find him, and hijinks ensue. There are really cute cultural references. I don't want to spoil it too much, but something that's kind of like Pokemon, if you recognize it. It is, when I finally realized that was what was going on, I was like, I see what you did there. That was fun. Okay. And yeah, it was just a really cute little, winking a finger onto the audience there. It was really good. So I suggest everyone pick up Chilling Effect. Prime Deceptions is book 2. I think Fault Tolerance is book 3. I don't know if it's going to go farther than that, but these books are really cute, and there needs to be more Eva and Vakar fan art. I found one thing, and it was really funny. I will put it up right here. It's this meme, but that was adorable, but there needs to be more fan art. So more people need to read this book so that I can get that fan art, because I'm not that good. And I would just want to see it. It would be adorable. And boom. Okay, so what I am currently starting, I'm going to start it in like a couple seconds as soon as I'm done this, is the second book in the Crescent City series by Brian Camp. That is Gather the Fortunes. And this one is following Renaissance Reigns, otherwise known as Renee. She's from the first book, and her adventures throughout the city of New Orleans. And now, I don't want to spoil what happens to her in the first book. Obviously, she survives. But if I say what's going on in this book, you'll kind of it'll be given away. I already gave some of it away by that she survives. But there's nothing I can do about that. That's who the main character of this book is. But I am really expecting the same amount of, oh wow, this is amazing prose from this book. So super excited to start that one. Boom. Next on the list, since I'm still trying to finish my April TBR, which was all the Audible books of physical copies that I have, I'm hoping the next, once I'm done Gather the Fortunes, that I will finally get to book 1 of Rook and the Rose, The Mask of Mirrors. Heard nothing but good things about this book. I even have book 2 lined up. I just need to finish this one. It's a chunky boy. The audiobook is really long. It's like 23 hours or something. All the books left on my TBR are super long. Like one of them is 41 hours. Bloody hell. Oy. I am not making this easy on myself. So pretty much all of May, I think, is going to be finishing my April TBR. This is why I don't do TBRs. I'm not good with structure. I am good with flying by the seat of my pants. Oh, by the way, do you like my kids' artwork back there? Yeah, like I said, I'm in a different spot. A little manic. We're just going to roll with it. But yeah, I'm going to finish, start The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. They are a writing duo, whom I don't remember the names of right now. But there's that. And finally, what I might read after Mask of Mirrors is, boom, Weave World by Clive Barker. I've had this book for like 2 years, 3 years now. And again, it's a chunky book. It is a long audiobook. I think it's like 28, 30 hours. Ugh, and I do listen to my audiobooks at a ridiculous speed. Now, unfortunately, Audible only lets you go to 2.5. When I do my library books, most of the time it's at 3 times the speed, which I know sounds ridiculous to some people, but like as soon as I attune to it, it just sounds like regular speaking. Like it just sounds like me speaking right now. That's what it sounds like to me. So that's why I'm able to get through some of these really long books relatively fast. So like Prime Deceptions, I think was 14 hours, 17 hours, one of those. Got it done in 4, something like that, 5. So really it helps me a lot, and it, unless I'm having a real hard time with some pronunciations, I'll slow it down, but otherwise, like, 2.5 now seems a little slow to me, which is ridiculous. And I was never able to do 1. I kind of did 1.5 for a while, and then I just sped up to 2, and then, yeah, progression and all that. But Weave World, I don't even really know what it's about. Epic adventure, weird, like, horror fantasy, somewhat like a Magica, I am guessing. Just a completely different world from the Imagica. So, I'm excited. The Clive Barker that I've read, I've really enjoyed. Like, I've read Imagica, I think, 3 times. That's a chunky book. I think it was originally released in 2 parts. So, there's that. Pretty sure I'll like this. I remember that... Oh, they're not called the Book 2 Goddess anymore. Oh, what are they called? What are they called? Daisy Ex Machina. On their channel. I remember them talking about Weave World when they were doing their unboxing when they moved. I had mentioned I have it and I haven't read it yet, and they said, oh, you'll love it. So there's that. I mean, it's been blessed by Daisy Ex Machina, so how can I go wrong, really? So there's that. Those are the things that I'm doing. Oh, breathe. Breathe. Spring is finally, coming around at a regular pace. I mean, the sun's out, there's white clouds instead of gray clouds. We're good. We're good. Just read some more. Everything will be okay. I know the world can be sucky. I don't know where I'm going with this. But, like, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. Okay. Now that we've zenned out, thanks for watching. If you have any comments whatsoever, just leave them down below about what I've read, things that you think I might like based on that. If you've read these books, if you liked them, if you hated them, I'd like to know. That'd be cool. Just leave me a comment down below. Like, please, if you liked the video, and subscribe because it really helps out my channel. Anyways, I will see you in the next one. Bye!